Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another show of Privilege Card. And tonight we have a great roster of guests, as we always do. Tonight, however, I would like to introduce a lady whom I've known for many, many years, since our school days. We've had our run of Renaissance people, and she is one of them. She used to be in theater. She was in television. Now very much into the arts, in restoration, and interior decoration, you name it, she's doing it. She's also very active with a lot of NGOs that are more or less concentrated on restoration, the arts, etc. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my very good friend, Liliane Tats Manahan.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Does anybody still call you Liliane?
Professionally, yeah.
Really?
Because
Okay.
of the international connection.
I
so
see.
no one can say tats.
We do that very nicely.
I know,
around here.
Filipinos have cute names.
Let me start
Okay.
with the transition here from when we were in school,
Yes.
okay? Because we were active, I believe it was the theater that brought
Yeah,
us together,
Ateneo.
right? Yeah, Ateneo Theater. So you were very active in theater in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember long talks with her about theater, arts, life. You know how it is when you're a kid. And so what did you do after school?
Well, it was martial law when I graduated. So all the television stations were closed, and my major was film and television. So for some funny reason, I got into advertising, but I discovered I wasn't a 9-to-5 girl.
Okay.
So
That figures. Okay, that figures.
yeah, so eventually I found something to do in television by accident again. I was invited to write for a television special, which I took. It was Maria Montelibano who was directing it.
But
Yeah.
you didn't stay long in television.
I did. I was there for 18 years.
Oh, my
Hang on.
goodness.
What,
Yeah.
18 years?
18, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you were writing scripts? Is that what you were doing?
We had
initially?
our own production company, so I was writing, Johnny was directing.
Johnny, her husband.
Yeah.
Johnny
And-
Manahan, also known as Mr. M. You forget this.
Mr.
Yes,
M.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's now Mr. M.
Yeah.
He's just Johnny to us.
He's
All
But
delightful.
yeah, so we went on for 18 years, and then it became network
Yes.
produced.
Yes.
Kind of like all variety
Okay,
shows.
yeah.
So maybe I was good. I don't know. I guess. But after 4.5 or 5 years, I said no. I can't do this 9 to 5 and over. So one day we were reading magazines, and Johnny saw this spread in Architectural Digest on a surface decorator in the Bay Area. And right at that time, we were kind of like, because I had nothing to do, so we were just kind of painting the house and stuff like this. So he said, why don't you look this up and, take up something? So I asked a friend in San Francisco to look up the school, and she said, oh, this lady is supposed to be the best
Okay.
in the Bay Area. Her name was Joanne Day.
Did you get
So-
into directing for a while?
Yeah, I directed Miscellaneous with Manon
then?
Tiveros.
Oh, miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Okay, that shows you how.
Yeah, I took over from Mitos Villarreal.
Well, that's exciting
Yeah.
to get into direction. That's really
Yeah, and then
wonderful.
I'd sub for him when he had other things to do. So
Yes.
so I did. I can't remember the variety show with Agamulak.
Wow.
Yeah,
These are
Okay.
names.
there was
yes.
one, and then I did Senator Shahani's 13-part series called the Shahani Perspective, and eventually I did on my own documentaries.
Okay.
Which one of them was shown at the International Documentary Association in LA, and it was reshown here just recently it was about the Battle of Manila.
Oh, yes.
So just recently.
Just recently. I think it came
Yeah.
out on Facebook.
It was in Ayala,
Oh,
Ayala Museum,
okay, all right.
Filipinas Heritage Library.
Didn't I say Renaissance?
You did indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
now you get into surface decoration. What exactly
Yes,
does surface
so
mean?
I took that course. Basically, it's not about painting. In fact, my teacher said if you have been in art school, forget anything you know about art, all the techniques, because it's very contrary. Surface decoration it's really a Renaissance style of painting. Let's say you do faux marbling, Venetian plastering, all of these. There are
Why
so
would you
many.
become interested in surface rather than, from the base and going up?
Because surface is like walls.
Okay.
And something on the top, it's a decorative finish
Yes.
that you deal with. So I started working with interior designers. I'm not an interior designer, by the way. Surface designer, surface decorator, yeah. So I've worked with some of the really nice interior designers here and architects. And we discussed their vision, and then I put it on the wall.
You learned your craft from this woman in San Francisco.
Yes.
How long was this
She-
course?
Well, I had to take it for 4 years because I had kids.
wow.
So she wanted me to take the full course in a year, but I said I can't. I have 2 growing girls. So she said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll divide it in such a way that you have to stay here for 6 weeks until you finish.
Oh my goodness.
So I went back and forth for 4 years. And then when I had finished that, along comes Ramon Antonio, who saw my work. And that's what kicked it off, actually.
Oh, so
Yeah.
while you're raising your 2 girls,
I'm
you were
climbing
you're taking
the
these
wall.
courses, literally climbing the walls.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that because of the husband, right? Because of the art.
No, yeah, it was because of him that I climbed walls.
Yeah, you
too.
have to. Oh, okay.
Just his
So,
suggestion.
But I think after that you went on to Europe, didn't you?
Yes, because this course I took was called Revival Finishing, Revival Decorative Finishing. So my mind was like, where did it revive from? And it turns out it was a Renaissance technique. So I found this school in Venice that dealt with that. I mean, the start of it. So without knowing where I was going, where the school was, what I was in for, I enrolled and I took a whole series of courses the first year and then again for the second year. And because my kids were growing, there was a requirement that I had to take the masteral course after, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't stay away for 4 months. So I took it when my kids were grown up.
But this is like a whole second life for you, Tats.
It
Yeah?
is. Yeah, it is.
My God.
And it was,
Now, when you were in
Nice.
Venice, did you get involved with what was happening in Venice as far
which
as
one?
well, all of the walls and the restoration that was going on at that time
Well,
in Venice?
most of it was done in the school,
Oh.
sample boards, but
I
then
see.
there were OJTs like the Jeswati in Venice.
Yes.
Like, it was this small that you had to restore. But,
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
It
that's
was
a
on the
yeah,
wall,
okay.
yeah.
So you'd be somebody like if I decided I own the Vatican, this whole Sistine Chapel needs to be restored. I call you.
Well, that wasn't yet the restoration phase of it. It was just the decoration phase of it.
Wow, there's so many
Because
facets
it's
to
too,
this. Okay.
yeah. What I learned in Venice was learning the decorative technique for the purpose of restoration.
Hold that thought because
Yeah.
we just have to take a little break. We'll be right
Okay.
back, okay?
Thank you.
This is Privilege Card, and we're so happy to be with Tats Manahan this evening.